seen as Dr. Stockman's sitting room? It is evening. The room is plainly but neatly appointed and furnished. In the right-hand wall are two doors. The farther leads out to the hall, and the nearer to the doctor's study. In the left-hand wall, opposite the door leading to the hall, is a door leading to the other rooms occupied by the family. In the middle of the same wall stands the stove, and further forward a couch with a looking-glass hanging over it, and an oval table in front of it. On the table, a lighted lamp with a lampshade. At the back of the room, an open door leads to the dining room. Billing is seen sitting at the dining table on which a lamp is burning. He has a napkin tucked under his chin, and Mrs. Stockman is standing by the table, handing him a large plate full of roast beef. The other places of the table are empty, and the table somewhat in disorder, a meal having evidently recently been finished.
You see, if you come an hour late, Mr. Billing, you have to put up with cold meat.
No, this is uncommonly good, thank you. Remarkably good.
My husband makes such a point of having his meals punctually.
No, that doesn't affect me a bit. Indeed, I almost think I enjoy our meal all the better when I can sit down and eat all by myself and undisturbed.
Well, as long as you're enjoying it. I expect that. Is Mr. Hofstad coming too?
Very likely. Peter Stockman comes in. He wears an overcoat and his official hat and carries a stick.
Good evening, Catherine.
Oh, good evening. Is it you? How good of you to come and see us.
I happen to be passing, and so, but you have company with you, I see.
Oh, no, it was quite a bit of chance he came in. Won't you come in and have something too?
No, thank you. Good gracious, hot meat at night. Not with my digestion.
Oh, but once in a way.
No, no, my dear lady. I stick to my tea and bread and butter. It's much more wholesome in the long run, and a little more economical too.
No, you mustn't think that Thomas and I are spendthrifts.
No, not you, my dear. I would never think that of you. Is um is he not home?
No, he went for a little turn after supper. He and the boys.
I doubt if that's a wise thing to do. I fancy I hear him coming now.
No, I don't think it is he. Come in. Oh, it is you, Mr. Hofstad.
Yes, I hope you'll forgive me, but I was delayed at the printers. Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Uh, Good evening. You have come on business, no doubt.
Partly. It's about an article for the paper.
So I imagined. I hear my brother has become a prolific contributor to the People's Messenger.
Yes, he is good enough to write the People's Messenger when he has any home truths to tell.
Hmm.
But won't you?
Quite so, quite so. I don't blame him in the least as a writer for addressing himself to the quarters where he'll find the readiest sympathy. And besides that, I personally have no reason to bear any ill will towards your paper, Mr. Halfstad.
I quite agree with you.
Well, taking one thing with another, there's an excellent spirit of toleration in the town, huh? An admirable municipal spirit. It all springs from the fact of our having a great common interest to unite us. An interest that is in an equally high degree with the concern of every right minded citizen.
The baths, yes.
Exactly. Our fine, new, handsome baths. Mark my words, Mr. Hofstad, the baths will become the focus of our municipal light, no doubt about it.
That's just what Thomas says.
Think how extraordinarily the place has developed within the last year or two. Money's been flowing in, and then there's some life and some business doing in the town. Houses and landed property are rising in value every day.
And unemployment is diminishing.
Yes, that's another thing. The burden on the poor rates has been lightened. To the great relief of the property classes, and that relief will be even greater if only we get a really good summer this year and lots of visitors. Plenty of invalids who will make the baths talked about.
There is a good prospect of that, I hear.
It looks very promising, very promising. Inquiries about apartments and that sort of thing are reaching us every day.
The doctor's article will come in very suitably.
Has he been writing something just lately?
Yeah, this is something he wrote in the winter, a recommendation of the baths, an account of the excellent sanitary conditions here. But I held the article over temporarily.
Some little difficulty about it, I suppose.
No, not at all. I thought it would be better to wait till the spring because it is just at this time that people begin to think seriously about their summer quarters.
Quite right. You're perfectly right, Mr. Hofstad.
Yes, Thomas is really indefatigable when it is a question of the baths.
Well, remember, he is the medical officer to the baths.
Yes, and what is more, they owe their existence to him.
To him. Indeed, yeah, it's true. I've heard from time to time that some people are of that opinion. At the same time, I must say, I imagine that I took a modest part in the enterprise.
Yes, that is what Thomas always says.
No, but who denies it, Mr. Stockman? You set the thing going and made a practical concern of it. We all know that. I only meant that the idea of it came first from the doctor.
Ideas, yes. My brother has had plenty of them in his time, unfortunately. But when it's a question of putting an idea into practical shape, you have to apply a man of a different metal, Mr. Hofstad. And certainly, I should have thought that in this house, at least.
My dear Peter,
How can you think that?
won't you go in and have something, Mr. Hofstede? My husband is sure to be back directly.
Thank you. Perhaps just a morsel.
It's a curious thing that these farmers' sons never seem to lose their want of tact.
Surely it is not worth bothering about. Cannot you and Thomas share credit as brothers?
I should have thought so, but apparently some people are not satisfied with the share.
What nonsense. You and Thomas get on so capitally together. Oh, there he is at last, I think.
Look here! Here is another guest for you, Catherine. Isn't that jolly? Come in, Captain Horster. Hang your coat up on the peg. You don't wear a overcoat. Just think, Catherine. I met him in the street and could hardly persuade him to come up. Oh, come along in, boys. They are ravenously hungry again, you know. Come along, Captain Horster. You must have a slice of beef.
But Thomas, don't you see?
Oh,
Ah.
that is very delightful.
Well, unfortunately, I must go in a moment.
Oh, rubbish! There is some, toddy just coming in. You haven't forgotten the toddy, have you, Captain?
Of course not. The water is boiling now.
Toddy, too.
Oh, yeah. Sit down and we'll have it comfortable.
Thanks. I never care about an evening's drink.
But this isn't an evening's drinking.
It seems to me, it's extraordinary how they can put away food. Oh boy, sorry, I got that wrong. It seems to me, it's extraordinary how they can put away all of that food.
Yes. Isn't it splendid to see young people eat? They've always got an appetite, you know. And that's as it should be. Lots of food to build up their strength. They are the people who are going to stir up the fermenting forces.
May I ask what they will find? They'll find here to stir up, as you put it.
You must ask the young people that when the time comes. We shan't be able to see it, of course. That stands to reason. Two old fogies like us.
Oh, really? Really? I must say that's an extremely odd.
You mustn't take me too seriously. I am so heartily happy and contented, you know. I think it is such an extraordinary good fortune to be in the middle of all this growing, germinating life. It is a splendid time to live in. It is as if a whole new world were being created around one.
Do you really think so?
Naturally, you can't appreciate it as keenly as I. You have lived all your life in these surroundings, and your impressions have been blunted. But I, who have been buried all these years in my little corner up north, almost without ever seeing a stranger who might bring new ideas with him. Well, in my case, just the same effect as if I'd been transported into the middle of a crowded city.
A city, huh?
No, I know. It's all cramped here enough, compared with many other places. But there is life here. There's promise. There are innumerable things to work for and fight for, and that is the main thing. Catherine, hasn't the postman been here?
No.
Well, and then to be comfortably off, Peter, that is something one learns. That is something one learns to value when one has been That is something one learns to value when one has been on the brink of starvation as we have.
Oh, surely.
Indeed. I can assure you, we have often been very hard put to it up there. And now to be able to live like a lord. Today, for instance? We've had roast beef for dinner, and what is more, supper. Won't you come in and have a little bit, or let me show it you at
Uh,
any rate? Come here, come here.
No, not for
Well,
work.
but just come here then. We've got a table cover,
Yes, I noticed it.
and we got a lampshade too. You see,
Ah,
all out of Catherine's saving. It makes the room so cozy. Don't you think so? Just stand here for a moment. No, no, not there.
uh,
Just here. Yeah, that's it. Look now. When you get the light on it all together, I really think it looks very nice, doesn't it?
oh, if you can afford luxuries of this
Oh,
kind.
yes, I can afford it now. Catherine tells me I earn almost as much as we spend.
Almost. Yeah.
But a scientific man must live in a little bit of style. But I am quite sure an ordinary servant spends more in a year than I do.
I dare say.
Well,
A civil servant, a man in a well-paid position.
well, any ordinary merchant then. A man in that position spends 2 or 3 times as much as I do.
Depends on the circumstance.
Well, at all events, I assure you I don't waste money unprofitably, okay? But I can't find it in my heart to deny myself the pleasure of entertaining my friends. I need that sort of thing. I've lived for so long shut out of it all. I've lived for so long shut out of it all that it is a necessity of life to me to mix with young, eager, ambitious men of liberal and active mind. And that describes every one of those fellows who are enjoying their supper. I wish you knew more of Hobson.
By the way, Hofstede was telling me he was going to print another article of yours.
An article of mine.
Yes, about the baths. An article you wrote in the winter.
Oh, that one. No, I don't intend that to appear just for the present.
Oh, why not? It seems to me that this would be the most opportune moment.
Yes, very likely. Under normal circumstances.
Is there anything abnormal about the present circumstances?
Well, to tell you the truth, Peter, I can't say just at this moment. At all events, not tonight. There may be much that is very abnormal about the present circumstance. Possible there may be nothing abnormal about them at all. It is quite possible it may be merely my imagination.
I must say, it all sounds most mysterious. Um, is there something going on that I'm to be kept in ignorance of? I should have imagined that I, as chairman of the governing board of the baths.
And I should have imagined that I, as the... Don't let us fly out at one another.
Oh, heaven forbid! I'm not in the habit of flying out at people, as you call it. But I'm entitled to request most emphatically that all arrangements shall be made in a business-like manner through the proper channels, and shall be dealt with by the legally constituted authorities. Um, I can allow no going behind our backs by any roundabout means.
Well, have I ever at any time tried to go behind your backs?
You have an ingrained tendency to take your own way, at all events, and that's almost equally inadmissible in a well-ordered community. The individual ought to undoubtedly to acquiesce in subordinating himself to the community, or, to speak more accurately, to the authorities who have the care of the community's welfare.
Likely, but what the deuce has all this got to do with me?
That's exactly what you never appear to be willing to learn, my dear Thomas. But mark my words, someday you will have to suffer for it, sooner or later. Now I've told you. Goodbye.
Have you taken leave of your senses? You're on the wrong scent altogether.
I'm not usually that. You must excuse me. Excuse me now if I am. Good night, Catherine. Good night, gentlemen.
Has he gone?
Yes. And in such a...
My dear Thomas, what have you been doing to him again?
Well, nothing at all. And anyhow, he can't oblige me to make my report before the proper...
What have you got to make a report to him about?
Leave that to me. It is an extraordinary thing that the postman doesn't come.
And we'll stop there. This part. Good. Looks pretty good to me so far. couple of notes. The first one is the question that I had from earlier.
Yeah.
This is for Steve, but I'm interested to hear everyone's thoughts. Why the hell is Peter here?
That's a good question.
He's not here to eat. He doesn't
Mm-mm.
have any business to bring up to Thomas, really. Maybe he does, but he never does. He doesn't actually end up bringing it up at all.
I actually, I thought about this when I was reading for the act today, and I mean, Steven, if you have an answer, I have an idea, but if you have your
Theories at this point, but please, I'm excited to hear it. It might build upon my theory.
yeah, I don't think that at this point Thomas is really thinking about this, but when I was reading it, I was like, why is Peter here? And I figured it kind of has to do with what he says in Act 2, where he's like, well, I was hoping that if you had money and I was part of that money, I could check on you. And that's what I kind of figured Peter was doing tonight while reading through, is that he had come just see what his absurd brother has been up to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kind of like to simplify it, would you say it's kind of like just keeping tabs on his brother?
Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Steve?
He probably does.
Kind
that
of
all the time.
yeah. I got the sense that he was micromanaging. Yeah, I'm sorry. I interrupted Sabrina.
No, I was just saying he probably does that from time to time, just dropping in and out.
Mm-hmm.
literally comes in and then refuses to eat and then leaves. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, bye, Peter.
It's like a related landlord.
Yeah, kind of. And he's got this this strange or
Yeah.
this peculiar enough relationship that he can do so, right? As
Mm-hmm.
Catherine's brother-in-law, Peter's brother, they work together pretty closely enough. And additionally, there's sort of a monetary sort of top-down approach going on where I'm just like checking in to check on your spending habits, which is something I bring up 2 or 3 times in this first scene.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of inquiring with Catherine how much you spend, and then kind of balking at the answer or balking at certain things I see in the house, or gaffing at them is another word. Whether or not I'm playing that right now, or how I can play that up more. So maybe it can be more apparent why Peter's showing up to the viewer.
Yeah. And then, I mean, as far as the financial stuff goes, there's the interaction between us where we're talking about living in style and civil servants and merchants. I sort of, what do you guys, I mean, Steven, as far as moment, I don't know exactly what we're saying, I guess. I know I'm saying that I want to live in style. Quite sure an ordinary civil servant spends more in a year than I do, which is obviously a reference to servant.
Right.
So I'm saying, oh yeah, I spend money, but I mean, not as much as you do, surely. Like I'm spending a normal amount of money.
Right. Or a fair enough amount.
Yeah.
It's not exorbitant, at least not
Yeah.
in non-Thomas eyes.
And then you say a civil servant, a man in a well-paid position. And I say, well, any ordinary merchant, a man like that, a man in that. So what? That I get lost right past that line.
At that line, he's kind of caught that Peter's not really taking the bait on that. And Peter's like, well, yeah, obviously if someone made way more money, they'd spend more. Like, that's not...
Oh, he is. Man, I mean...
And you're just like, well, a merchant, then. Like, I'm really...
Yeah.
Compared to a merchant, I'm not spending that much money.
It's like one of those humble brags. Where it's like, well, I mean, yeah, I get paid really well, but I spend the money accordingly.
Yeah.
And like, well, then, I mean, a merchant who probably gets paid just a little bit more than me, he spends way more than I do, I assure you.
I think it's funny that you say, "Oh, Catherine says that I spend almost as much as I make."
Yeah, well, I spend
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my notes is I'd like you to punch that and make that joke here. It's like, oh,
Oh
Catherine
my-
says we make almost as much as I spent.
Okay, okay, yeah.
And it's like they're just like really punching this moment up and having this brotherly like we're rich, it's fine.
I'm trying to joke, and he's just like, bro, what's wrong with you? I'm
He's
like,
not
why?
having
Come on! It's
He's
funny.
such a stick in the mud.
I've got a tablecloth now, and life's good.
I have a lamp. It has a lampshade. We've
Like-
never even seen those here before. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's a fire hazard, but whatevs.
It's been imported from Italy.
Yeah.
Italian lampshade.
I still I forget. Do we read something in a later scene? I'm just like blanking if it comes up. Did Thomas have a history of overspending and then he got this new job, right? Or do we already bring this up? Is Peter like, yeah, well, you used to overspend a lot and I had to like bail you out or something,
No,
and then
I
now you
don't-
got a new job, I'm like keeping tabs on you or something?
I don't think so. I think it's because Thomas was so poor. Like they were in
And-
horrible circumstances.
I think it just
So
has
he,
to do
he
with
was so poor until he got this job.
Mhm.
yeah. And I'm just
And
you know me as
oh, sorry.
yeah, and I feel like it's part of whole that you think I'm so irresponsible. Kind of.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
feel like I helped you get this job.
Mhm.
Because I helped you get the salary, I feel like I need to help you manage this salary. And so when I show up and I see all this, what I feel are exorbitant enough things, I'm like, uh-oh, you know,
When it has
it's
to I think
happening all over again. He's going to be poor again.
yeah. I think too it has to do with like your ulterior motives as well, because if I were to go and like bankrupt us in this position, then all of a sudden like what that would mean as far as your being able to keep tabs on me, what I would have to be a whole mess as well
Mhm.
because I'm so irresponsible. Peter.
And there's this extent too that, you know, I really enjoy like being the smartest person in the room, the most capable person in the room. And to keep Thomas in a position of, you know, well, you know best, you know best, you know best, you know, that's going to make me feel like more secure in this headspace that I like to live in, that I'm the smartest, most capable person in the room.
Mhm.
Subordinate.
I think it feeds into that. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mitchell, real quick on
Yeah.
your user settings and your voice and video, I think sometimes it happened with the reading too. Like
What's
the
up?
ends of certain sentences would get cut off, and I think it's because
Yeah.
your mic is not picking them up.
Okay, I'll turn it up.
So if anything, make the under that. Do you see that yellow and green bar?
Yeah, I turned the sensitivity up.
Gotcha. Cool.
Okay. All right, we'll
Thank
see what.
you. Thank you.
Oh, the stream is so far back. I'm like gesturing and stuff. I haven't been talking for like a couple minutes. That seemed productive. I just want to put my thoughts out there.
Sure.
See if it adds at all. I liked that kind of a lot better, but I wonder if I just found it interesting that really the only thing that Peter does when he comes to the house is just start talking about the bats and how great they are.
Yeah.
Right?
It's his baby.
He
Like that's his
can't help-
project.
He can't
Yeah.
help but come in and talk about the baths, and like he comes in and he just picks apart all these things about Thomas that he sees around the room. He's like, oh, he's not here. Ugh, he's out with his kids in the middle of the night.
Right.
You're spending all this money. Ugh. And Hofstad shows up. He's like, Peter, Thomas is writing an article, and you're just like, well, let me tell you about the baths.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the baths. So I wonder if that plays into it.
Yeah, well, definitely like posturing, right? Like Peter, good. The things I touch, good, great. The things
Mhm.
Thomas is doing, not good, not great. How irresponsible is he? How unsuccessful? How successful am I? Wow.
Well, it comes.
Uh,
It's very one-upsman. He comes about when people start praising Thomas. They're like, oh, Thomas, all this wonderful meal is out here. All his friends are here, and he's writing for the paper, and we're so happy he's writing for the paper. And you're just like, well,
Yeah. And I think some of this is like feeding into. I've been thinking more and more about because Peter does not have a family, right?
Mhm.
You've got nothing, no comforts of any sort.
Right, and
No.
so I mean, I
Stop it.
get the sense that he,
Loser.
I get the sense that he has very few friends as well.
Mhm.
So
Makes
to
sense.
like have like a motherly, loving figure such as Catherine, you know, if she were to be like, not that he's trying to steal Catherine, but if she were to be like, you know, praise him, right? It makes him feel good. It's like filling a void, you know, where he doesn't have a wife. You
I
know,
have every single line that you compliment me highlighted in my script, and it's a lot.
maybe I am. Maybe we'll
I
play.
mean,
Passed in my head.
it's a creepy We're just like, Catherine, you must be the only sensible one.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, and then
And then like a lick afterwards.
Milady. Um,
When you're rich, they let you do
I
it.
almost forgot to just
and to some extent, I think the same thing with the people from the paper. Uh, yeah, it's just like he just doesn't have a lot of people that likes him. It seems like he sacrificed like a lot of social relationships to like get to his position. And so he's really bankrupt when it comes to
Friendship.
yeah.
And it also kind of
Wow.
goes into like he doesn't really have a lot of people around because like Thomas has kind of a moral compass that is Catherine. Peter doesn't have one. So when it comes to him boasting about his what he has and what Thomas has that he shouldn't, he doesn't really have someone to tell him like, hey, you're being an ass right now.
Right, and he's the mayor, so no one would.
Exactly.
Like,
Right.
I would.
While I was reading it, there's a lot of lines where it kind of seems like everyone is secretly really fed up with him. Where Mrs. Stockman says a lot. It's like, yeah, that's what Thomas says. That's what
Yeah.
Thomas is always saying. And Hofstad's just like, sure, yeah, whatever you
It
say.
is. Yeah. No one believes it, but
Yeah, he's like, sure. And
You're just
they
talking
have
a
their
lot.
like so many things. Like Catherine says it like 2 or 3 times. She's like, "Yep, Thomas says that,"
and I think the pride plays a huge part in our relationship, and then this argument overall. Like, it's just our pride towards ourselves and like what we do and what we believe and what we think is ours and deserve. That pride is like, because a lot of this argument goes so far because of how Peter treats Thomas, and then how in turn Thomas treats Peter, along with like his mayoral duties and his own investments in the bathhouse. But like, so much of it is also fueled by that we're both pig-headed, really, just in
very
different ways.
We're stubborn.
Yeah, because I'm overt and you're kind of skeezy.
And I have to deal with both of you.
What's that?
I'm the one that's just like, you guys get along so well. Why can't you actually just get along? Actually,
Yeah,
Sure.
But I
you're
think
so similar.
they do.
Mhm.
I don't think that Thomas sees the condescension that Peter
Yeah,
like rains down upon him. You go in and you shake his hand. You're like, "Oh, it's so good to see you, Peter. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming." I was thinking
and that's
about.
yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, yeah, I just like I was thinking about that as well, and it's just kind of Thomas overall. Overall, he's so happy to embrace everything that comes his way,
Until everything
for the most
falls
part.
out from under.
Until it falls up, and then he's just like, "Well, then I'll fight, and I'll be mad."
I was thinking about.
keep going.
I was thinking about yesterday. I started thinking about what the timeline was for this whole thing. We talked about it before, and I was thinking about it more yesterday, and realized that Aleph and Morton are like 13 and 10, which didn't stick in my head for some reason. And now I remember.
It's respectively.
But yeah, so I'm thinking. I still think that they weren't born when you guys were poor, when you guys were up north. So when
It's so long ago then.
So long ago that happened, and Thomas
And I
says
still-
that he brought back the idea, and he said I had to write for years and years, but it's
Years.
really years and years.
I wrote, but man, did I write and I write.
Yeah, and
That's a lot. What? And that's I'm still referencing
And as Peter
being up
says,
north.
and as Peter says,
Oh my god.
as Peter says, like, oh, he can't help but address himself to the people who find, like, he's making fun of you for writing to people that might be sympathetic to you and to no one else.
Yeah.
But obviously, he takes umbrage with your writing. So I was thinking about it as like Thomas came back, and he's like, Peter, I've got this great idea. We make these medicinal baths. It's gonna change everything. And Peter's like, no, and just like shelves it, and you kind of like have this back and forth, and you're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start writing about it, and we're gonna start figuring it out, and you have the boys, and you're working through that, and at some point down the line, someone that Peter works with is like, hey, Peter, we're thinking about doing some new projects. What do you?
Oh
Do
my.
you have any ideas? And he's like, well, Thomas
You do
is
these baths.
talking about these baths, and they're like, sold. Let's do it. That sounds great. And Peter's
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck.
And-
like,
No, Peter, really, good job. That we that's what we wanted to hear. Peter's like, you're
and
well.
then the money starts coming in. Peter's like, this is a great idea. This was a great idea for me
Yeah.
to bring my brother's idea.
I brought it up. I'm the one who
Yeah.
brought it up in the meeting.
But
And
then
what
it's.
I wonder.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder because I think I referenced this later, but did I? What? Okay. Did I come back for these baths? I came back. I talked to. Did I come back from there with this idea, or have I been here for a while with the idea? It's very
kind of-
unclear.
It's kind of nebulous
can-
what you were doing.
I think-
you were doing some research.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even sure if your family was with you. I think you were off
Yeah.
doing research, and your family was here. Because you
I don't think
talked about
that's
how
ever
you were
mentioned.
alone.
Well, not alone,
didn't
but
say
just
I was
away
alone.
from just away from anyone that would give me good ideas because I was up with the
That's
uncultured people.
awful.
My
Yeah.
wife doesn't count. My wife does not. This is the 1800s. My wife doesn't count.
It's fitting that you would just say, I'm here all alone. I'm just like, what the fuck am I here for?
Catherine is
That's
literally
right, my
beside
wife.
me, cooking me
And these
food
swamp
and making me
people.
toddies.
Yes.
In the up north in our corner, and I'm like sitting in my chair looking out the window. I'm like, I'm so alone. She's like, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, beef. I'm so alone.
He picks up a rifle.
I'm just
and
like,
puts on a
okay.
heavy coat.
She goes, I'm like writing about medical stuff. Oh my god.
And you're just like, these swamp
Yeah.
people.
It's very fitting that he'd just be like, I'm so alone, and I'm here like, I'm the real lonely one here.
Mhm.
Poor
Um,
Catherine. Honestly, poor Catherine.
This entire play. Poor
Yeah.
Catherine.
I call you an old lady.
Yeah, it made me laugh. I was rereading the third act today, and we were just talking about like, is Thomas so like, is he movable? And I just straight up say, yeah, you're a smart guy, but you are very, very
Oh
influential.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I fell on the floor laughing. Like, you're
Yeah,
smart,
well-
but you're an idiot.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
That comes in later in Act 1. I'm like, I can't believe how yeah, we'll get to
Yeah.
So,
Oh my goodness gracious.
that. Yeah, anyways.
in regards to that timeline, I'm wondering how long. So you've got like.
Real quick, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I did plan my night based off the call.
Mhm.
So I need to probably go in like 7 minutes is probably the longest I could stay.
We
Did
can-
I got the call times right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can wrap
Okay,
this
cool.
up really quickly.
Yeah,
I the fear was like washing over me for a moment. I was like, oh no, I didn't double
Okay.
schedule to that.
Certainly. What was I gonna say?
Gracious.
I
Who's here?
wonder how
Oh,
much.
there they are.
Hi.
Hey everybody.
You guys switched seats.
Yeah,
But yes.
Breaking.
keeping it fresh.
I wonder how much this has been eating at Peter over time. That this was Thomas's idea and not his,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and how much that frustration comes out in his dialogue and how much like all of this passive aggression that you display in like in this first scene is just like Thomas. Like you guys really used to get along. Maybe Peter still had felt that Thomas just wasn't as good as him. He was smarter than Thomas, and then Thomas brings back this idea, and it's just eating away at Peter this whole time.
Yeah.
All those years.
Sure.
But Heavy.
And I also, as far as timeline goes, how long these bats have been open? It's been at least since winter, and I'm assuming it's spring. It's not, so we're in between winter and summer, which is spring.
I think Peter says it's been like a year or two.
Has it? Okay.
I think
Yeah.
He says like a year or two.
And they're like just starting to hit their stride, right?
Yeah.
It's time for people to move in and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Exactly. This would be like the worst time for the bats to like have to shut down. It's like right when they're getting off the ground.
Yeah.
But alas, poison is poison.
Not in your mind, Peter.
You're poison.
Mm.
To hit to you.
I have a couple of other notes that I'll just drop out here so Steve can take off and be about his night. Peter, the line "I as chairman," where was it?
Hey, Wachuku.
Hi.
Hi, Wachuku.
The argument.
Yeah, the line "I
Is there
chairman."
something I should to be kept in ignorance of? I should have mentioned that I, as chairman, I want you to like lean in on that, like remind him, I'm your boss. Firmly.
You're both the mayor
Yeah.
and the chairman of the bats.
Yeah. Just any time that you talk about your authority, I want you to like really lean into it because you take that very seriously.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And then Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple lines that I wanted to talk to you about. Steve, you
Sure.
can go. I'll just talk to Mitchell about these.
No, you can go.
Oh,
Get outta here.
Love you guys. Have a good rehearsal.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry guys, we're finishing up. We had a
Where you
really
going?
productive discussion. I want you to be a little more. I want to see. I don't know if it's 100% what I want because it feels a little contradictory. But when Peter brings up the article, I want you to be a little more hesitant to talk about it. A little more
I
worried.
will, because I think that he's learned about the article that I have brought up, but I'm not sure I want to run yet.
Yeah, well, he brought it up, and it's kind of weird because we know that Thomas is really just like, this is gonna be fine. Like Peter's gonna, it's not gonna be a problem. We're just gonna roll, and it's fine.
Well,
but I still feel like you don't want him to know about because you don't have your facts straight yet. I guess.
Yeah. Well, and so I think too it has to do just with that. I say that I don't want to go spreading this information around before it's 100% true. And if he knows about the article that I've been writing, why does he know about that? So yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to see if that plays a little better. If you're a little more like, that article.
Yes.
I don't want to.
I thought I the moment came in, I was like, I won't hit it too hard, but I'll give it a little more chutzpah next time.
There's that, and then there's another line at all events. I'm trying to remember where that was.
It's when I'm talking about my monies, I think. It's right above it.
So.
At all events, I assure you.
I don't waste.
Yeah.
Bring that in and be like more earnest about it, and be like very reassuring to Peter. Just like all events.
Don't worry, Pete. It's.
Don't spend money unprofitably. And then when you turn to talk about all the men, just like have this little like you got him by the shoulder and you're like, oh, look at these men, like this the future, bright future, and this like earnest, wistful sort of like, I'm so excited for life.
I'm trying to win him over to why I'm spending all this money. I'm not, Peter. I'm not spending money unprofitably. Yes, I'm spending a lot of it, but look at this. Look at these young men in here that are our future, and they need what this money is providing, my friend. So please.
Yeah.
Roast beef and table covers.
Perfect. Perfect.
Rolls eyes really into the back of my head.
Catherine, we'll talk about this later.
I would love to have modern Catherine just be in the
If
background.
Catherine was modern, we'd be divorced by Act 5.
By Act 1, you
aw.
would have been divorced a long time ago.
Catherine?
Is Roseanne Barr.
You would be Thomas would come in and talk about his ex-wife Catherine and how great she was.
She was such an old woman.
That's an
It's
old woman.
it's the ghost of Catherine that sticks around for sheer duty.
Fuck.
She's just like, she appears, but she's really just the voice in my head.
I am the voice in your head.
And I look longingly at a
Already.
picture of you, and I'm like, she's gone.
There's a bunch of
I've got
her
the bads
clothes
now.
in his closet.
The Bats is my wife now.
Okay. And with that, I'd like to welcome everyone else to the stream. Hello, everybody. Sorry we ran over a little bit. Let me see. Oh, that stream is very behind. Let's see. So we're going from page 8. That doesn't mean anything to you guys.
Ajay.
Okay. So we're going from Hofstad Billings and Horster's entrance. Oh, where's Rush? Is Rush available right now? I suppose I can read for.
Oh, the re-entrance.
I might know someone who can read for Raj if you need someone to read for Raj.
That's
My
okay.
parrot.
Got a friend of a friend.
I'd rather have him read for Billing or Hofstad. Okay. Oh,
Someone
there he
just
is.
showed up.
There he is.
Raj.
There's Raj.
Christ.
Senior Horste. Horste.
Hey guys.
There it is.
Speak of the
There's
devil.
that.
Let's see. Okay. So, now we're moving on again after some productive notes to everybody. I'd like to introduce Raj, right below me, who is reading for Horster. Directly to my right is Nicole, who is going to be reading for Aleph or Morton?
Martin.
Morton. Tabitha, all the way over below Mitchell, is going to be reading for Aleph, the other child of the Stockmans. And down
Aleph.
below is Machuku, who is going to be reading for Petra, their oldest daughter. Okay, and I guess I will continue reading for
Hofstad.
Austin. Could you read Hofstad for me? And I will read Billing.
Are you good to stand?
Yeah, I'll stand.
You don't have to if you don't want to. I could also just try. Work it out.
If
Which
standing's
page
a
are
little
we
much.
starting on so that I know what I'm doing?
That's difficult for me to say because everyone has a different page, I think.
Okay.
It's from Billings Lane. One feels a new man after a meal like that. I'm going to say that, and then you'll be doing the mayor is in a very sweet temper tonight. It's like halfway, I think.
Maybe page 7.
7-ish, yeah.
Being at 7.
Near the bottom of page 7.
So billing, one feels a new man. Okay.
We'll be going from there, and then we'll go.
And I'm
on-
reading for Kai.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll go to page 11, and then we'll do some notes. Well, my 11 is up until the boys exit, and then we'll do notes, and Aleph and Morton can go about their night, and we'll do the rest of it. Okay. Okay. One feels a new man after a meal like that.
The mayor wasn't in a very sweet temper tonight, then.
It is his stomach. He has wretched digestion.
I rather think it was us two of the People's Messenger that he couldn't digest.
I thought you two came out of it pretty well with him.
Oh, yes, but it isn't anything more than a sort of truce.
That is just what it is. That word sums up the situation.
We must remember that Peter is a lonely man, a poor chap. He has no home comforts of any kind, nothing but everlasting business. And all that infernal weak tea wash that he pours into himself. Now then, my boys, bring the chairs up to the table. Aren't we going to have that toddy, Catherine?
I'm just getting it.
Sit down here on the couch beside me. Captain Horster, we so seldom see you. Please sit down, my friends.
Oh, there you are. Here's an Iraq, and this is rum, and this one is brandy. Now, everyone must help themselves.
Oh, we will. Oh, and let us have the cigars, Aleph. Aleph? Aleph, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with Aleph every time. Okay. And let us have the cigar. Huh? What was that?
I'm sorry, I lost the page for some reason.
It's totally fine.
Okay.
It's not a line. We're just giving him cigars and stuff.
I was trying to figure out how to pronounce your name.
Oh, I was just like, oh, shoot.
Okay. All right. I shall move forward. Oh, and let us have the cigars, Aleph. You know where the box is, and you two, Morton, fetch my pipe. You know, I have a suspicion that Aleph pockets a cigar now and then, but I take no notice of it. Oh, and my smoking cap too, Morton. Catherine, you can tell him where I left it. Oh, he's got it. Now, my friends, I stick to my pipe, you know. This one has seen plenty of bad weather with me up north. Your good health. It is good to be sitting snug and warm here.
Did you sail soon, Captain Horster?
I expect to be ready to sail next week.
I suppose you're going to America?
Yes, that is the plan.
Then you won't be able to take part in the upcoming election?
Is there going to be an election?
Didn't you know?
No, I don't mix myself up with those things.
But do you not take an interest in public affairs?
No, I don't know anything about politics.
Oh, the same. One ought to vote at any rate.
Even if one doesn't know about anything that's going on?
Doesn't know? What do you mean by that? A community is like a ship. Everyone ought to be prepared to take the helm.
Maybe that is all very well on shore, but on board ship it wouldn't work.
It is astonishing how little most sailors care about what goes on shore.
Very extraordinary.
Oh, sailors are like birds of passage. They feel equally at home in any latitude. And that is only an additional reason for our being all the more keen, Hofstad. Is there to be anything of public interest in tomorrow's messenger?
Nothing about municipal affairs, but the day after tomorrow I was thinking of printing your article.
Oh, devil take it, my article. Look here, that must wait a bit.
Really? We had just got convenient space for it, and I thought it was just the opportune moment.
Yes, very likely you're right, but it must wait all the same. I will explain to you later.
Petra comes in from the hall in hat and cloak and with a bundle of exercise books under her arm. Oh, you're muted. Oh.
Good evening.
Good evening, Petra. Come along.
And you have all been sitting here enjoying yourselves while I've been out busting my hump.
Well, come and enjoy yourself too.
May I mix
Thanks,
a glass
I
for
would-
you?
Oh, thanks. I would rather do it. You always mix it too strong. But I forgot, Father, I have a letter for you.
A letter? From whom?
The postman gave it to me just as I was going out.
And you only give it to me now?
I really had not time to run up again. There it is.
Let's see, child. Yes, that's all right.
Is it the one you've been expecting so anxiously, Thomas?
Yes, it is. I must go to my room now. Where shall I get a light, Catherine? Is there
yes.
no lamp in my room again?
Yes, your lamp is already lit on your desk.
Oh, good. Excuse me for a moment.
What do you suppose it is, Mother?
I do not know. For the last day or two, he's always been asking if the postman's not been.
Probably some country patient.
Poor old Dad. He will overwork himself soon. There, that'll taste good.
Have you been teaching in the evening school again today?
2 hours.
And 4 hours of school in the morning?
5 hours.
And you still got exercises to correct, I see.
A whole heap, yes.
You're pretty full up with work too, it seems to me.
Yes, but that is good. One is so delightfully tired after it.
Do you like that?
Yes, because one sleeps so well then.
You must be dreadfully wicked, Petra.
Wicked.
Yes, because you work so much. Mr. Rorland says work is a punishment for our sins.
Pooh, what a duffer you are to believe a thing like that.
Come, Eilif.
That's capital.
Don't you want to work as hard as that, Morton?
No, indeed I don't.
Or what do you want to be then?
I should like best to be a Viking.
You would be a pagan then.
Well, I could become a pagan, couldn't I?
No, I agree with you, Morton. My sentiments exactly.
I'm sure that is not true, Mr. Billing.
Yes, I swear it is. I'm a pagan, and I'm proud of it. Believe me, before long we shall all be pagan.
And then shall be allowed to do anything we like?
Well, you see, Morton.
You must go to your rooms now, boys. I am sure that you have some lessons to learn for tomorrow.
I should like so much to stay a
No.
little longer.
No, away. Both of you, go.
Okay, thanks, guys. We'll cut it there. Don't have any notes for the boys. That was really good, actually.
Nice.
It was really
I was-
fun.
You're cute.
Channeling Monty Python somehow. I don't know if it picked up in there, but I was like, hold back the Monty Python.
I should like very much to have a shrubbery.
Shrubbery.
A shrubbery?
Swinging from tree to tree.
I'm not too pagan.
We have a knights who say feet.
For those who say toddy.
Ewy, kapow!
Newang.
Oh, so
I
good.
need to watch that movie again. It's been a hot
Yeah.
minute.
I watched it somewhat recently. It's a bit dry and long.
Let's just stream us watching Monty Python.
I wanted to say that's what she said, but
Very glad I marked this for
it would
mature
be very
audiences.
pagan.
It was very
Smart.
There are some who
It's
call
fine.
me.
I don't want to
Tim?
censor. That is all. It's all part of the process.
Uh-huh.
This is
If you had to go back and censor, just take too long.
Yeah. No, I would have to censor so many goodbyes from the other night.
This is apple juice.
Goodbye.
I'm so disappointed, not to take too much time away from notes and have a tangent, but I'm so disappointed I didn't record that. And I also found out that the OBS didn't record Kai's garage door going up.
No.
And I was gonna make a little clip video with that, and now I can't because it's
Recreate
gone.
it.
Here. Lost to time.
We must only enjoy it in memory.
We will know, and we will carry it to our ancestral memory. Anyway, I have
Just a recall?
one note. Power creep of memories. I do for Petra. Did you find like playfulness in the scene? The specific line that I have, definitely with your brothers.
Okay.
To be very like, oh well, isn't that, or be very like sweet with them, like wicked.
Mhm.
But the one line that I had was, that will taste good with when you're mixing the drink is like, oh, that's gonna taste good.
Okay.
Like, oh. She knows what she likes.
Okay, sounds good.
She's like, oh, that's gonna taste good. So, find those moments with Petra, and I think we'll be good. Yeah, that was my only note for the scene. It's rather short. And I will dismiss Nicole and Tabby if you guys want to cook. You're welcome to stay, but we'll be good. And then we'll move on to the rest of the scene.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm gonna head out too.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys.
I'm gonna grab a charger.
I am going to use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. will never not
He was-
record anything.
Very
That
funny.
last 5
He
minutes
was-
where I wasn't recording it. And we were talking about it.
He was going on like, I got every single note perfectly. I just can't say the word goodbye. And
He's like, I can't say it now. I'm never saying the word goodbye again.
He probably said it perfectly. We just...
I'm sure it
You'll
was
never know.
actually the best it'll ever be, but it was frozen.
It was exactly what I wanted, because he gave me everything I wanted every time I asked for it, so I know that it was probably exactly what I wanted, and...
True, man. You
now
did
he's just gonna
something.
be self-conscious.
You do something exactly perfect, and then you look up and everyone's just laughing, and you're like, "Wait, what?"
remember when he said it, but his mic went out so we couldn't hear it?
Yeah. That's right. Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
giving, like, the best Shakespeare, like, you've been working on this Shakespeare monologue for, like,
Your entire life.
Your entire life, and you're finally doing it, you're up in, like, you're in the Globe, and you're doing it, and then everyone just busts out laughing. And it's a history, it's not a comedy.
It's like Richard III.
This is like Richard III. You're opening the show, and people are just cracking up. And you're
You've
just
worked.
like,
You've
"Oh,
worked
no."
on like your
My
body
life is ruined.
posturing work, and you're
It's
like,
all a waste.
everyone's like,
And you're just like, what?
It'd
it's
be like that sometimes.
And you just like look at your fellow actors, and you're
Oh, I
like, have I been
hate
doing
it.
this the whole time?
I
You
hate
guys
it.
just not told me, and they're just like, oh, we just can't tell him that he's.
We thought it would be
horrible."
funny.
Or yeah, if
We
you're like
just
an
And it
asshole,
was.
and they're like, let him go out.
Yeah, let Peter embarrass himself. Take that.
Uh,
Fucking Peter. Give fuck, baby. What is? Why? No.
One of the technical issues. That was attractive.
Was it my butt?
No, I burped like a couple times,
Okay.
and your butt is attractive, so it
Thank you.
Cancel
It's
that.
from physical therapy.
get that.
But
PT
via. Yeah. Fucking doing pistol squats all
booty.
day
PT
long.
Barnum, PT booty. It's the new circus trend.
Oh.
It's the new trend. Just blow out a kneecap, and it's gonna be great.
It's not my kneecap. It's everything in between.
Is that the second time you've done that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The first time was during Aladdin.
I remember
Yeah.
that. I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah. Good times. I was fine one day, and then I came in the next day with crutches. I didn't even know I had torn my ACL.
Oh,
Because I decided after a full day of rehearsal and school, I went to the gym, the gymnastics gym, to do gymnastics things. Landed wrong and fucking tore my ACL.
oh no! Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a reason I don't do gymnastics.
I loved it.
Oh,
I would
It's
love
okay.
to say
I found
that
other
that's the
things.
reason I don't do gymnastics.
That's exactly the
all
reason
other
I don't do
reasons.
backflips.
I don't want to tear my ACL, bro. That's it.
I value my ACL.
now you do.
Oh yeah, I value it like $20,000.
I have a price tag.
Mm-hmm. I have a
You know
receipt.
Exactly what it's worth.
Yes, $20,000 a year of recovery and a lot of physical therapy.
Oof.
Maybe some depression medication.
Been there.
Real.
Real.
We're on
Yeah.
the train.
America, am I right?
Oh yeah. At least it happened during a pandemic.
And then everyone else is just like, yeah, I get it. And we're like, cool.
Oh, you can't do anything either?
Oh my gosh.
Mitchell just quarantined before everyone else. Before it was cool.
I did! And now the whole
You're a
quarantine thing
trendsetter.
sucks even more. Before I didn't go out because I couldn't walk, and now I don't go out because I don't want to die.
You know? The herd eventually catches up.
The ACL immunity.
I can't break
Everyone
my,
tear your
I can't tear my
ACL, so you
ACL.
can't
I already
happen to
did.
you.
I tore my ACL when I was a kid. I can't do it again.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm already wet,
Take a
why not
box.
just go swimming? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just go hop in a pool with a bunch of other people who tore their ACLs.
Yeah, it should be fine. Like, what do we got to lose? You might tear your other ACL. Duh.
Oh, I got 2 of them.
Oh,
Matching pair?
What was that?
Matching pair.
Oh no.
Okay.
I couldn't imagine.
This is
What
great.
would I
Yeah,
do?
called moratorium, and let's finish the scene.
Sounds good.
Fuck.
I would love to keep talking, but I feel like
Talking about a
we
torn
should probably
ACL.
at least try to finish it once first.
Come on. Yeah.
Shit, I let Austin go. So now I have to leave for billing and host. Okay,
You're doing great.
Look what you've done.
look what I've done. Look upon my works in despair.
I do that every day.
My works? That's really sad.
No, my own works.
I didn't think they were out there, but this is boding very poorly.
I actually just pretend to be really bad at tech because I actually hacked into your entire system.
Was that just water in a wine glass?
No, it's vodka. I'm joking.
Even
It is
better.
water.
Hey.
Oh, I was
It
gonna
is
say, I
water.
was gonna feel really. I wanted to show up with a Moscow Mule, but I would have felt like a really bad director if I did.
I mean, every time I do these online readings, I usually have like an old fashioned or something, just because it takes the edge off. And like, this is a very weird thing, so I'm
Yeah.
not opposed to it. If you had a Moscow Mule, I'd be like, all right, let's go.
We could
I've
do-
been waiting.
And
for
honestly,
the
I
green
think
light.
most people have like a drink or a pen or something near them. Like I've noticed most people like strategically will like turn off their camera for a moment and then come back on.
I
Or
drink
they just
openly.
don't care.
I'm just
Yes,
thinking
exactly.
Of like, I'm just thinking of like Brad with like a bottle of Jack and like how horrible that would be to like. I'm just like, I really hope he doesn't end up watching this at
This
some
is
point.
this is the perks of being able to do this streaming stuff. You're doing it from home.
I'm at home.
Mhm.
It's not that irresponsible.
The etiquette is completely different.
It's my company.
Yeah,
I've been
I
waiting-
can do what I want.
I've been waiting for the green
True.
light to have an actual drink because if
Okay.
we did, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
I
There's
will
the-
now come with drinks.
Just don't
It's
have
the okay.
drinks before.
Yeah.
Start on stream. Don't start
Yeah.
before. Don't pregame.
Well, the
We
whole
show
thing
up.
is,
All right, I'm
there's-
ready.
there's nothing wrong with like having a drink because it's not gonna put you on your ass. But
No.
if like that's just the whole part. It's just like drink, but don't get fucked up while we're working.
Get drunk.
That yeah,
Well,
that's like
this is-
pointless.
This is the work. Come on.
Yeah.
Just come on. Like, you know anything? And you, what is the army is this thing?
Well, there's drunk Shakespeare, which is actually really entertaining. So
So funny.
let's do
So
we'll do
funny.
one stream that'll be drunk Ibsen. So
I'll entertain the idea. We have lots of room.
If you got me drunk in this play, I'd just be talking back
Let's
Yeah.
in improv.
It's an-
let's
Okay.
look
You're
at
all
the
fucking
acts.
toddy.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see the first. Let's see everything once, and then maybe we'll do like a drunk read through and
value with every different
with, like,
avenue
total
of
freedom
exploration.
to go where you want to go, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And it'll take the edge off, and we'll bond, and it'll be cool.
And we might learn something
We might
about the
Mhm,
show,
we might
about
find some new
ourselves.
takes.
It's
It'll
inevitable.
be great.
I kind of think it's
Discovery.
inevitable.
It's true. You've got to play. That's why it's called a play.
There's a reason
The
it's
work.
Mm. Mm.
Oh my god.
called Character discovery at the bottom of a glass.
We're drinking toddy. We're drinking toddy in the seed.
We should drink toddy. What
Drink
is
toddies.
what is it?
We should make
Toddy-
show drinks for every show.
Toddy it's like a hot toddy. It's
I don't know what toddy is.
it's like honey and lemon with a different alcohol in it that's warm.
Mhm.
Either you say arak, which is
Arak.
arak, which is I think is
Arak.
a palm wine. We use bourbon. There's rum as well. So it's just like a
Oh.
warm, comforting little alcoholic drink. Some people drink it when they get sick, because it's soothing to
Oh.
the throat. But it's
Mhm.
just it's lemon and honey with a warm alcohol. toddies.
I can get behind that.
And I think when we're talking about boiling it, we're boiling like the honey with the lemon to get it into a very thin consistency to mix with the alcohols that we're going to
Yeah.
drink. So then it's warm.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so
Lovely.
toddies.
We learned something today.
We're not even drinking
How unfortunate.
yet.
Wow, Jinx.
Don't test me. I have a bottle of gin right next to me.
Nice.
Anyway,
I have a whole
Just good stuff.
cabinet full of liquor. Thanks to
Really?
Ross's bachelor party. I still have all the liquor that I used.
Really?
Yeah.
We bought. You bought.
He has
You
all of that.
specifically. Yeah.
But I have one of everything that I bought him in my thing. Plus more, like a bottle of Hypnotic. I was going to make a Windex drink that never materialized because I couldn't figure it out.
Well, it was a very. It was the hotel room party. So it was kind of
I was
intense.
drinking. And
I was having a
Austin
great
was
time.
drinking. You had some drinks, and no one
I had-
else of the
Well, because
12 people.
Mark
that were
doesn't drink.
Mark doesn't
When
drink.
Raj doesn't drink.
Pregnant girl.
It was literally it was us three. You bought so much liquor. Oh my god.
I bought a lot of liquor. I bought like $200 worth of liquor, and nobody drank it.
And you flew it home with you.
No, wedding present. I left it.
Oh, that's right. You just have
I
copies.
I
of it.
couldn't take that home with me.
Could you imagine getting on the plane with $200 of open liquor?
Do you have anything to declare? I got a problem, sir. I got a problem.
Just tell them it's magic cards, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's fine."
Stuff them in a deck box.
Yeah, I've been stopped at customs so many times for my magic cards.
Oh, that's funny because Raj, remember Outside Lands, where we put the.
Oh yeah. In the Magic the Gathering card box.
Yeah. I mean, no, we didn't.
And the lady pulls
We
it
didn't
out
do
and
that.
looks at it, and she's like, "You're good."
She looked at the dex box.
We did that.
I didn't do it.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
It's not live though.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
Hypothetically.
I was tricked. Hello,
See, I
FBI.
did you.
Whatever, that was years ago. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah. It's legal now. It's legal now.
It's legal. But you know. All right.
Okay.
No.
I was sure.
Let's not reveal anything any more incriminating about ourselves. Let's just read the fucking play.
No promises.
Okay.
Shut up.
I haven't even started yet.
I'm sorry. Something in my room is making noise.
God, it's not that bad. Do you really think it could do the boys any harm to hear such things?
I'm so sorry. I'm sure that is not true.
I don't know.
Wait,
but
where
I
are
don't
we?
like it.
Where are we again?
Right after the boys leave. Should be I don't know, but I don't like it from you.
Okay.
I'll go
I
with
have
it.
that line. Where? That is so weird. Okay.
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 Did you find it?
Here it is. I found it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Do you really think it could do the boys any harm to hear such things?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
But you know, Mother, I think you really are wrong about it.
Maybe. But I don't like it. Not in our own home.
There's so much falsehood both at home and at school. At home, one must not speak, and at school, we have to stand and tell lies to the children.
Tell lies.
Yes, don't you suppose we have to teach them all sorts of things that we don't believe?
Well, that is perfectly true.
If only I had the means, I would start a school of my own, and it would be conducted on very different lines.
Oh, bother the means.
Well, if you are thinking of that, Miss Stockman, I shall be delighted to provide you with a schoolroom. The great bed my father left me is standing almost empty. There's an immense dining room downstairs, and
Thank you very much, but I'm afraid nothing will come of it.
No, Miss Petra. No, Miss Petra is much more likely to take to journalism, I expect. By the way, have you had time to do anything with that English story you promised to translate for us?
No, not yet, but you shall have it in good time.
Dr. Stockman comes in from his room with an open letter in his hand.
Well, now the town will have something new to talk about, I can tell you.
Something new.
What is this?
A great discovery, Catherine.
Really?
A discovery of yours?
A discovery of mine. Just let them come saying as usual that it is all fancy and a crazy man's imagination. But they will be careful what they say this time, I can tell you that.
But Father, tell us what it is.
Oh, yes. Only give me time, and you shall know all about it. If only I had Peter here now. It just shows you how men. It just shows you how we men. It just shows you how we men can go about forming our judgments when in reality we are as blind as any moles in a hole down in the darkness.
What are you driving at, Doctor?
Isn't it the universal opinion that our town is a healthy spot?
Oh, certainly.
Quite an unusually healthy spot, in fact. A place that deserves to be recommended in the warmest possible manner, either for invalids or for people who are, well...
Yes, but my dear Thomas, what are you talking
and
about?
we have been recommending it and praising it. I have written both in the messenger and in pamphlets.
Well, what then?
And the baths. We have called them the main artery of the town's lifeblood, the nerve center of our town, and devil knows what else.
Well, the town's pulsating heart was the expression I once used on an important occasion.
Oh, quite so. Well, do you know what they really are? These great, splendid, much praised baths that cost so much money? Do you know what they are?
No, what are they?
Yes, what are they?
The whole place is a pest house.
The baths, Father.
Our baths?
But, Doctor, absolutely incredible.
The whole bath establishment is a whited poison sepulchre, I tell you. The gravest possible danger to public health. All the nastiness up at Molidol, all that stinking filth is infecting the water in the conduit pipes leading to the reservoir. And the same cursed filthy poison oozes out of the shore, too.
Where the bathing place is.
Just there.
How do you come to be so certain of all this, Doctor?
Well, I have investigated the matter most conscientiously. For a long time past, I have suspected something of the kind. Last year, we had some very strange cases of illness among the visitors, typhoid cases and cases of gastric fever.
That is very true.
At the time, we supposed the visitors had been infected before they came, but later on, in the winter, I began to have a very different opinion, and so I set myself to examining the water as well as I could.
And that is why you've been so busy with.
Indeed, I have been busy, Catherine. But here I had none of the necessary scientific apparatus, so I sent samples both of the drinking water and the seawater up to the university to have an accurate analysis made by a chemist.
And have you got that?
Here it is. It proves the presence of decomposing organic matter in the water. It is full of infusoria. The water is absolutely dangerous to use either internally or externally.
What mercy, you discovered it in time.
You may well say so.
And what do you... Sorry.
You may well say so.
You may well say so.
You may well say so about that right there.
What up here in Norway?
My
Which
God.
accent
On
then?
this Norwegian coast here.
Right, yeah.
Evolving from like Western to like Australian.
I stumbled. I'm sorry.
Thank
And
you.
we'll never
It's my
forget
fault.
it.
It's my fault.
Let's back up. We'll back up to when I'm showing you guys the letter, okay?
Important.
Okay.
Goodness.
Ah, fuck that. All right.
This isn't the time.
I'm drunk. Here it is. It proves the presence of decomposing organic matter in the water. It is full of infusoria. The water is absolutely dangerous to use, either internally or externally.
What a mercy, you discovered it in time.
You may well say so.
And what do you propose to do now, Doctor?
Well, to see the matter put right, naturally.
Can that be done?
It must be done. Otherwise, the baths will be absolutely useless and wasted. But we need not anticipate that. I have a very clear idea what we shall have to do.
But why have you kept this all so secret, dear?
Well, do you suppose I was going to run about the town gossiping about it before I had absolute proof? No, thank you. I am no such fool.
Still, you might have told us about it.
Not
At least
not a living soul. But tomorrow you may run, but not a living soul. But tomorrow you may run around to the old badger.
Oh, Thomas.
Well, to your grandfather then. The old boy will have something to be astonished at. I know he thinks I'm cracked, and there are a lot of people who think so too, I have noticed. But now these good folks shall see. They shall just see. There will be a nice upset in the town, Catherine. You can't imagine what it will be. All the conduit pipes will have to be relayed.
All the conduit pipes?
Yes, of course. The intake is too low down. It will have to be lifted to a position much higher up.
then you were right after all.
You remember, Petra? I wrote opposing the plans before the work was begun. But at the time, no one would listen to me. Well, I'm going to let them have it now. Of course, I have prepared a report for the Baths Committee. I've had it ready for a week and was only waiting for this to come. Now it shall go off at once. Look at that. 4 closely written sheets, and the letter shall go with them. Give me a bit of paper, Catherine. Something to wrap them in. Oh, yep, that'll do. Now give it to what the deuce is her name? Well, give it to the maid and tell her to take it to the mayor at once.
What do you think Uncle Peter will say, Father?
What is there for him to say? I should think he would be very glad that such an important truth has been brought to light.
Will you let me print a short note about your discovery on the messenger?
Well, I shall be very much obliged if you will.
It's very desirable that the public should be informed of this without delay.
Oh, certainly.
She's just gone with it.
Upon my soul, Doctor, you're going to be the foremost man in the town.
Oh, nonsense. As a matter of fact, I have done nothing more than my duty. I have only made a lucky find, that's all. Still, I mean, all the same, it was a very...
Yeah, don't you think the town ought to give Dr. Stockman some sort of testimonial? I will suggest it anyway. And I will speak to Ashlaskin about it.
Oh no, my good friends, don't let us have any of that nonsense. I won't hear anything of the kind, and if the Baths Committee think of voting me an increase of salary, I will not accept it. Do you hear me, Catherine? I will not accept it.
You are quite right, Thomas.
Your health, Father.
Your health, Doctor! Oh, good health!
I hope it'll bring you nothing but good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear fellows. I feel tremendously happy. It is a splendid thing for a man to be able to feel that he has done a service to his native town and to his fellow citizens. Hurrah, Catherine! That's the end of my line. There's so much, yeah. I need to figure out.
Yeah.
This lady scene. I got a couple notes. Petra, can I see? I feel like whenever something business-like comes out, or anything that might be hinting at like a revolution or politics, you just have like some zeal in you. There's more like, I think with the letters, like, what is it, Father? Like, what's the what's the happy? Let me see if I can find the exact line I was thinking of.
What's the tea?
Yeah. Like,
What's the shade?
But like, what is he talking about? I'm trying to remember what line I wrote it on.
Was it when? Was it? There was a. Was it when I was said? Then you were right after all.
Maybe. The father tell. I think it was when. But Father, tell us what it is. Where he's talking how this is a discovery of mine. You're like, tell us what it is. You know, like. And I want from everyone just like a little more shock when he says the baths are poisoned. I was just like, what? Like everyone's been going there. It's the hot.
I bathed there yesterday.
Yeah. And he uses violent language, as Peter says. He's like, "It's a pest house," and you're just like, "Oh, what?"
It's a little intense.
Yeah. He's like, "It's gross."
I'm passionate.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be truth. It's the truth. It's full of pests. These little thingies. You can't see them. Infusoria.
He does get very excited. I feel like it's like the modern equivalent. You're like, "It's a fucking nightmare."
Yeah,
Like,
it's a train wreck. Oh my god. It's so bad. I'm a little excited.
Mitch, luckily I recorded this, and I'm gonna post this for reference later. Mitchell, the first time you said that line before you repeated it because I couldn't keep straight. The first time your delivery was perfect.
Yeah. Which one? You may well say so. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Here it is. It proves the presence of decomposing organic matter. That one.
And the water is absolutely dangerous to use either internally or externally. The rhythm was perfect.
Yeah.
The first time
Yeah.
you said it.
Thank you.
So if we can just like keep that, and also Catherine, it's such a small note, but when she said. When he says, "We'll go to the badge," and you're like, "Oh, Thomas, that was perfect too. That's exactly how I want it."
Okay.
But tomorrow you may run around to the old.
Don't insult my father.
But people call him the Catherine. It's what we call him. Everyone calls him the badger.
It's rude. It's not nice.
What's a badger? He's like a pig.
Not nice.
Pig's a dummy.
It's not nice.
If you had like a towel, you just like smack him like, "Thomas."
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. The way you read it was perfect.
And then I would be like, "I'm alone."
So alone.
Leave me.
All of my money.
I'm just gonna
Was
cook
that a
all my
ghost that
food
just
for my
hit me?
children.
I'm so alone.
Catherine's just a ghost the entire
Hot
show.
toddies keep appearing out of nowhere, and I keep drinking them. It's so good.
I've learned if you say Catherine, things appear.
Men really thought this way. It's like South Park, where it says they really believe this. Like men really believe this back in
the 1800s.
If you just say a woman's name, things will appear.
Fuck. God damn.
Mitchell, the line about the maid. I want like a little more like what's her name?
What the? She did.
Like you're really like.
Yeah, really trying to. I just can't ever remember this working girl's name.
And it's like in a frustration, like what the deuce is her name? Like what's her name?
Yeah. Yeah,
no one
just
tells
kind of
you.
dig
Like,
in.
it's like just take it, just give it to her. Like, give it to her.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. Just give it to her, the maid. You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I mean, and it's weird. Like that class. He's so for. He's like, I want to help my community, but then like he kind of also it brushes off the people directly within his community, and she's like, what's her name? So it's kind of it's just that hypocrisy.
In my house for years.
Yeah.
And probably something that society as a whole just overlooked at the time. It was like, yeah, the servant, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, she's just servant. She doesn't matter. She only handles our entire household, and handles dangerous fluids near our.
She can't come into the sitting room. She's not allowed in the sitting room.
Yeah, I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear her. But
That's
she
why you
may
don't
clean.
know her name.
That's why you don't know her name. Exactly.
She
brush off my housework. Of course, you're gonna brush off the maid.
What the deuce is her name? Catherine. Catherine. Give it to Catherine.
Give this to
there it is.
Your mother. Give it to your mother. Never do what she does.
What's your mom's name again? You mean your wife? Yeah. What's her name?
Is she the maid? I don't know.
Married for 20 years.
Who's the other woman in the house? What's her name again?
Petra? No, not Petra. You're Petra.
You just have the best moment where you're like, where did you all come from again?
Wait, where am I? What am I doing?
At some point, there were some fully formed children running around in the house.
Did we meet
those kids come from?
They call me father. And
who's that?
I'm a what?
Well, hold on now.
Hey, I don't know who this father guy is, but I'm Thomas.
I'm the doctor.
Like, that's your child. I didn't tell you.
Anyways, so yes, frustration made.
Thomas is up in the north, and Catherine shows up on his doorstep with 3 kids. She's like, "Where have you been?"
Where did you get those?
She's like, "They've been here.
Oh,
I've had them this entire time.
You were there."
So you're Catherine. Ah.
Yes.
This has been getting to you.
Oh my god.
That's how it worked at the time. Is you sent really saucy letters, and children appeared by post.
Here entailed is my seed.
My god.
Oh god.
Imagine Catherine reading this letter. She's like, "Oh, it's from Thomas. There's a vial in it."
Oh god. It's cold enough in Sweden or Norway. Where are we? Norway.
What is? Very glad I marked this as mature. I would have had to hold my tongue.
God. Help me.
So yes, the maid. Heard and recorded.
I don't know the name.
Understood.
The maid's name.
Yeah, for sure.
Last one is Petra. I'm not sure about this one yet. I kind of feel like reading the scene that everyone else knows how this conversation is going to go with Peter except for Thomas. So when you ask him, like, how do you think Uncle Peter's gonna react to that?
Very.
I wonder if maybe you should be a little more like, how do you think he's gonna take that?
Okay.
Like, everyone else is like, oh well, they're already prepping these like plans and stuff to back you up, and you're just like, I'm gonna go talk to my brother.
Oh, he's gonna be like, oh heck yeah, let's fix the pipes.
He's like, oh,
Let's
they're
lay some
rusty.
pipe, boy.
It's gonna be like, oh my god, thank you for telling me this.
I would love to like retranslate this in a way later and just have it be like where Peter flips out and Thomas is like, ooh, that's not how I thought that was gonna go at all.
You're wow, I did not think. Okay, well, I guess we're arguing now. Let's go.
I definitely missed this relationship.
I have misinterpreted this whole conversation. Wow.
It's like when it's like when you've like known a girl for really a long time and like she keeps dropping symbols and then you like talk to her and she's like, no, I don't like you. And
you lean in for the kiss and she's like, whoa.
She's like, whoa. Yeah,
and you're like, whoa,
no.
what? Really? Was I wrong? Oh
It's
man.
like, but all the and you like think about it and you're like, yeah, oh yeah, I guess that was.
I guess not. Wow.
I'm sorry.
Man, and you did that all for your own sake?
Surely, I think that I had a modest part in the Enterprise.
You suppose I don't see through you?
You see through me? I mean, like, not like your window or whatever, you know. Just
It's not like no, the leggings that I said you couldn't see through. No, yeah, you definitely couldn't see through.
Where's this conversation end up?
We're getting to that point.
Welcome to
Oh
rehearsal.
my god.
Welcome to Rehearsal in the Free Royal
I'm
Theater
glad to
Company.
be here.
Honestly, is it that hard to make leggings that aren't opaque?
Apparently.
Yeah.
And we're just
yeah, I
as mad about it.
I'm like,
And you know it's a money thing. They're like, oh, this is thinner, it's cheaper, it's fine, we'll charge you the same amount.
just they're supposed to be meant for movement. And you can't move in those without revealing something. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a
It's a struggle.
We've already thought about it.
Been there. I'm not like directly
Yeah.
involved.
I've been there. I mean, not really. It hasn't happened to me, but it's been there.
I just heard,
Did he-
you know, through the grapevine.
It's really great. Yeah.
I just heard about it.
Heard, seen.
I read about it online.
Good article.
Therefore, I've been there.
Not like there's a pair of yoga pants in the back of my drawer that I don't wear out.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
They're comfy.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Occasion.
surprised. I feel like every single person should have a pair of yoga pants.
I'll get on that.
Yeah,
Yoga
you
pants.
should. You won't go back.
You honestly
Alright.
won't.
No.
All right.
Yeah, why don't we just like? I mean, most women have already transitioned to just wearing yoga pants. Why can't we just, like, as a society, just yoga pants?
Is everyone comfortable?
And then it's
Yeah.
not really sexualized. It's just everyone's in them. Everyone's in them.
Mhm.
And everyone's gonna look great.
And
Men
when
are
some
really
dude is just like,
Mhm.
some dude's just like, yeah, I love yoga pants, and the other dude's like, dude, guys wear those. He's like, yeah, I love them.
Have you been to LA?
Back to I had this is something I wanted to bring up
Yes.
earlier, but I figured
Yes.
I'd wait until we were here because this is where it's I am still because we had talked about the bathhouse being on the beach,
Mhm.
and I just am confused as to all of how the workings, like where it is, because reading through it, when I say that it's coming up on the shoreline too, makes me feel like it's not actually on the beach. It's because it has its own reservoir set up with the conduit pipes.
Mhm.
And then I say it also comes up on the shore.
I believe
And-
there's probably drainage from the baths that goes into the shore.
So I say that it's oozing up. Like, because Muladal is obviously at a higher geographical location than our town. So then if they have pollution, it's seeping into the groundwater, which will also move towards the beach because that's sea level.
Mhm.
So, just for my own mind, trying to place exactly where this bathhouse is and how it relates to the beach and the reservoir and everything.
It's a coastal town and it's probably not very big because it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's not a city, it's a town.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's on the beach. It's beachfront at the very least.
That makes that makes a lot of sense.
And the drainage pipes probably go underground out to, like any sewage pipe. Well, I mean, a lot of sewage pipes now are like level with the water, but they probably I don't know a lot about like sewage engineering, but I'd imagine it's just because like, oh, here's water, so they'll just put the drainage, bad water go out to ocean, not worry about it. Probably killing a bunch of fish, a bunch of gross fish are washing up ashore, I imagine.
Yeah. And so we have it's conduit pipes leading to a reservoir that is specifically for the bathhouse. But then I talk about testing the drinking water.
I imagine
which I guess
drinking water on premises, like waterfowl.
Yeah, it's just like its own. Yeah, it's just its own. Okay. Yeah. Because I was like, if I tested the drinking water in town, and it was all infusoriated,
problem that could
I'd be like, wait a minute, why am I just worried about the baths? Everyone's in very much a lot of trouble with this stuff. Okay. Yes. Yes. That's the question I had.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
It all makes sense now. Thank you for clearing that up.
Sure. Anybody else have any questions? Any nagging thoughts or?
Really?
I don't think I want to see anything. A lot of people missing, so it's hard to like want to work a bunch of stuff over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Steve gone, so I can't even go back and work that. So we just call it for the night.
Yeah. It was a good good work through.
Yeah, it's a good tangent.
Mm-hmm. This is what the people want. They want to hear about yoga pants.
I think so.
Yoga pants and alcohol.
They come for the Ibsen and stay for the yoga pants banter.
They're like, what are the theater kids really getting up to in that back room, in that big old room? They're like, are they really just going Shakespeare for like 5 hours straight?
Like, this is literally like we're backstage rehearsing, and then in between scenes when we're not working, we're like, so why can't they just make substantial yoga pants? Is that so hard?
But it's like not far off from how it actually is, too.
And then we're just like, I wish I could have a drink right now.
I always want a drink.
Hey guys.
Hi.
I just wanted to say real quick, I'm watching you guys and you're doing great.
You're here. You're on.
Hi.
Is my face on?
You're live. No, it's just Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's a fake.
Poltergeist report.
I don't
Okay.
know what that is.
I can hear everybody great through Discord. I cannot hear Aaron through the stream.
At all?
No, you sound like you're a mile away, and I wanted to point out so that you maybe adjust your levels.
And sometimes at the beginning of lines, you also cut out.
I see.
So
I guess we should have brought that up, but I didn't think about it.
So via like Discord, you are actually the loudest of us, Aaron.
Oh, I can hear myself.
Yeah, the stream's a little back.
Let me pause that.
That's good to know.
Oh, I heard myself.
Okay, yeah, I
Damn.
paused them. Yeah, so on Discord you're the loudest, Aaron, but then on Twitch I can hear everybody clearly, and then you sound like you're in another room.
I think that's because it's taking my mic directly and not me through Discord. So I'm gonna have to
reroute.
Is it better? Well, you might have to wait a second. I turned up my mic on my recording thing.
I hope it didn't interrupt anything.
No,
we were just
we're pretty much
finished.
We're literally about to sign off, and then you came on, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You guys want to say hi to my mom because she's your one subscriber watching right now.
Hi, Griselda.
Griselda. Cocktaila.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming, Griselda. Let's ignore the story about Outside Lands.
Griselda's a cool mom.
Yeah.
You're on mature, and she can handle it.
Oh, good.
I'm here for this.
Yeah, this worked. I feel now I'm gonna have a huge anxiety attack about the fact that my voice is just not there, but I'm not that important, so it's fine.
That's okay. Next time we do this, Tabby will sign for you.
Okay, that works.
That'd be cool.
That'd be super cool. Okay. Yeah. I guess
All right.
I'm gonna have
Good
to
rehearsal, everybody.
Obsess over that.
Oh.
Good job, you guys.
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah.
We did it. We did one.
We did another, actually.
We did.
We did.
We've done 1.5.
Oh, we didn't stream the other one. That's
right.
true.
We've done 1 stream, 1.5 stream.
Nice.
And
Easy
I
money.
set it to save this. So there'll be a VOD on Twitch to watch, and I will also have a physical copy that I'll put on our thing.
Nice.
To review.
Nice. Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Good stuff, people.
Wonderful.
All right. It sounds better now. Austin says it sounds better now, so cool. That works. And thank you guys for coming and watching our stream, or watching the VOD if you're watching later. Be sure, again, to check us out on social media at Free Royal Theater, RE, on everything available. And there's nothing there now, but in the future I'll be updating you on when we're going to stream, what we're doing, plans we have, all the cool stuff that's coming out. Be sure to keep on track of that. Yeah, that works. You guys have a good night. And you guys have a good night. Thanks for everything. See you guys
Of
again soon.
course. Good night, everybody. Good night, everyone watching. All hundreds of you.
The million future viewers who are looking back at where it all started.
Like, where did that company begin?
Those
There it
halcyon
is.
days. It's like, oh, there's
It's the crazy
chain
people.
theaters all over the country, and where did they start? In bedrooms.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Farewell.
Bye.